morning. My name is Nicole Beane, and thank you for attending my capstone presentation. My site is located in Atlanta, Georgia. It's actually the home of the Atlanta Braves, Turner Field. As you can see on my contacts map, right here, the bright green is where the site is located. We are facing north, and this is downtown Atlanta with all the major focal points: Centennial Park, Atlanta Underground, Georgia State Capitol. My actual project site, I went ahead and flipped it for purposes so that you're able to see it larger on the screen. So now we're facing north this way. The actual site is 42 acres, and as you can see, that the entire site, for the most part, is parking. Now, I wanted to explore the site as part of larger issues. So a few of the goals that I had within looking at my site, the first goal was I really wanted to look at the sustainability, and as you can see, I broke down sustainability into more than just environmental. I really looked at it in social and economic as well. One of the other second goals was that I wanted to really improve the user experience by improving the wayfinding and increasing the focal areas and accessibility to these places. And the third major goal was I wanted to make Turner Field more of a place where you could visit not only for baseball games, but maybe you can visit during the week and use it during the week so that it's not so empty when baseball games are not occurring. So I wanted to start you guys off with my final master plan, so as I go through my process, you know what my final product was. A few of the main program elements that I wanted to incorporate within my final master plan was I wanted to take away the parking from the level and go ahead and incorporate one very big parking garage here, and I've actually incorporated 2 underground parking garages as well. And I wanted to also include tailgate and open space area, and this main park up here is kind of a community connection, which I'll get into more as I continue within my presentation. So taking a look at the existing conditions right now on the site, there are a few major focal points that exist on the site that I wanted to keep within my final master plan. Looking right here on the site, there's the Olympic torch that currently exists from the 1996 Olympic Games. And this right here, the footprint of a baseball field, that exists currently as a parking lot, and it's shown in pavers. So cars do park on top of it. But what it's showing is that it's actually the old Atlanta Braves stadium that they wanted to keep. This right here is the main wall that surrounded it, and it's about a 20-foot drop from this parking lot down to this parking lot right here. So it's a pretty big topography change. And then this is a section of the big topography change I was talking about. So the section is cutting through the site here, A and B. You're looking up here, and here's the main wall that I was pointing to. It's a pretty big drop. And what I want to do is keep that wall, keep the history, because I feel like it's very important to show the history of the stadium as well. A few of the existing pictures to just show the character of the site. Here, standing right here in the home plate of the existing footprint, and this is the actual wall. So you can see they're very proud of the wall because they've labeled it, you know, the Atlanta Fulton County Historic Site, home of the Atlanta Braves. They do have minimal designated tailgating areas, and they have an underground pedestrian pathway, and you can see Turner Field in the distance. But the main point I wanted to get at is a lot of asphalt. So moving into the next phase, with my synthesis phase, I wanted to look at the opportunities and constraints in my site to see what types of things I'm really looking at in the design process. So a few of the opportunities and constraints I have. The opportunities, it's located near the major highway. This is I-75, I-85 right here. So I consider that an opportunity because it's close to the highway. At the same time, I consider it a constraint because you have the views of the highway that are undesirable, and you also have the noise of the highway that could be undesirable. Another great thing about the site is there's so many great focal points. You know, you have the wall, you have the footprint of the existing site. There's so many great things. Another thing that I would consider a constraint would be the 20-foot drop on the wall. And I'm going to have to deal with that because it's something that is existing, and it's going to stay for the final master plan as well. So as I look into the next phase, I I went ahead and started looking at master plan concepts. And within these concepts, I really explored the original program that I explained to you at the final master plan, and I looked at pedestrian vehicular circulation, and I also looked at my original goals of sustainability, multi-use, and the circulation. I didn't want to stop at just one phase of concepts. I moved into a second phase of concepts because I felt that it was extremely important to maybe think outside the box. What would happen if I got rid of all of that parking and made it green space? What would happen if I took a step back and said, what is existing up here? So that's exactly what I did. I went ahead and said, all right, this is what it's going to look like with all green space, no parking up here. This second phase 2 concept, I took a step back at the context to see how is it connected to Atlanta and how does it work within a community. Right now we have an existing residential area right above the site, and then we also have an abandoned commercial and a little bit of existing commercial right here. So I took that as an opportunity to maybe pull that into my final concept. Maybe it could be a great thing within my concept. Upon considering the phase 1 and phase 2 concepts, I came up with a preliminary master plan, and I did keep the context wide because I thought it was great to keep a connection to the residential area, and maybe I can propose commercial expansion and get that growing, get that up and going. I also took a look at the goals and objectives, which I had originally stated, and I also wanted to explore new technologies and applications of sustainability, such as maybe proposing a green roof and getting into the ideas of that. And I also took a look at proposing stormwater areas that would catch all the runoff coming off of the site. Now, upon looking at the stormwater, I had to figure out where the water was going in order to come up with the final master plan, because I needed to see if the stormwater areas that I was recommending were able to work for the site. So I did an analysis of this and came up with 11 different watersheds and where the water is located, and I felt that this was really necessary for the next phase of my design. And so what I did was I asked myself a few questions. I said, are the stormwater catchment areas I have too large? Or maybe they might be too small? Is there enough rainwater in Atlanta to keep them full? And what exactly, how much water am I dealing with on my site? I felt that this was very important. So what I did was I calculated the volume of runoff within my site, and these are the 11 watersheds that I had previously shown, and I came up with the runoff volumes. And what I came to conclude with is that some of my proposed stormwater catchment areas worked, and some of them didn't. So what I did with that is I revised the master plan with the appropriate sizes based off of the stormwater calculations that I had come up with. So with this master plan, that's basically what I had done. Was I took the stormwater calculations that I had come up with and revised those areas. Now, I wanted to just quickly explain the process I went through. This was not only the process that I went through for my final master plan, but also for the individual focal areas that I want to get into really quickly. I started out with researching and getting many ideas about it and looking at the holistic definition of sustainability. Then I moved into concepts and options. And then I evaluated those options, and that's how I came up with my final recommendation. So within my presentation, I want to explain to you, within my project book, I have 5 main focal areas. However, for this presentation's purposes, I'm just going to get into this focal area 1, which is the green roof parking garage, and focal area 2, which is the rain garden parking lot. Focal area 1, I started out with free process and used the same process throughout everything. If you want to take a look at my boards during that, or you can see them now during the presentation, that board on the far right is actual process that I went through as far as figuring out the green roof parking garage specifics. As far as the final green roof, this is the one that I had come up with, and really what I considered was, can I have a green roof with multi-use and green roof functions with the most amount of space possible? I also had to worry about the views, the great views to Turner Field and the great views to downtown Atlanta, but the bad views to the highway next door to it. So that was really an influence within my green roof.